We are recording.
Start. Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. This series, I am once again joined by my wonderful co-host, that darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are sharing our experience reading The Way of Kings for the first time. Each episode we will summarize what we've read and discuss the experience along the way.
This is Storming the Archives, The Way of Kings, and today we discuss Chapter 57.
Chapter 57!
Wandersail. A blind. This was one of the recommended blinds from back when we first picked up the book. Much excitement.
Let us see what it's about.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at the art, it seems to be a male POV. And it's got masks, so it seems like wit is going to be involved. The mask guy is usually wit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're much better at noting that stuff than me.
There was a picture before this episode.
Scale
chapter.
Spray, Stump Weight, Markel, and Snarlbrush.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be what I assume is a farmer picking up some what appears to be citrus. A gourd.
60. Are those feet? 16 feet?
Yeah, or 6 feet.
Like,
no, wait, which one? Oh, yeah, no,
the one at the bottom.
The Markel is 16 feet, yeah.
And then that other pillar sort of thing is 6 feet. That's like a giant pineapple. The top thing. But yes. It's scale spray, yeah. The scale spray looks like, okay, and then there's the fruit that you get from the top. Oh gosh, I would love to see this drawn, animated, created.
Same.
Yeah, animate. Just animate it. Don't do any live action. We don't need CGI plants or anything. Yeah.
Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
All of the animation is done as if from Shalon's art.
Ooh. So it's her style, it's her sketch style the whole way through.
That could be neat.
Yeah.
Now, before we do get into the chapter, though, and it's interesting to me that you called out wit, because my expectation for the chapter was going to be that we were going to pick up with Kaladin after last chapter's battle, and I was expecting an escape attempt.
Yeah,
premature.
We both spoke that it's like, while they're celebrating, this would be, like, they're not ready, but this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have two things to bring up. One being, I've been traveling lately, which means I've been putting on Audible Way of Kings for white noise as I do so when I'm not able to connect to Wi-Fi. And I noticed a couple of things. One, I did notice a few more genuinely witty moments from Shalon. So perhaps I've been a little tough on her. She does get a few good ones in. But specifically in the chapter Heretic, I found what I feel is a subtle Sanderson. When Yasna is soul casting the boulder, there's some prose about her eyes being closed. Then she opens them, she blinks as if momentarily confused by her location. Now, the first time we ever went through that, I believe I would have presumed, as best I can recall, that was because of all of the smoke that the boulder turned into. But now with knowledge of Shadesmar, I hear that momentarily confused by her location bit in a much different light. What do you think of that?
That makes a lot of sense. That's the cool part of learning about magic systems. You can go back. I think you'll experience that also with Wheel of Time, where as you learn more about the magic system, you also go, oh, okay. So yeah, going back is a good thing. Especially, it's nice with Audible. Like once you've read it, as in literally read it, having the audiobook in the background sort of thing to re-experience it, I think that's pretty cool as well.
It's so nice.
That idea. Yeah.
So the other thing that I wanted to call out from this latest listen through is, and I don't remember if we talked about it back when we were going through it, but one of the earlier chapters with young Kaladin and Lirin, and Kaladin is complaining about how there's no glory in being a surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
The topic of nobility came up. What's noble in that? Or something like that. The dual nature of glory and nobility really, really sat with me for a little while. There's a lot of nobility in being a doctor, there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of glory in being a soldier. The dueling nature of those two topics seem to be big in this book, more so than like ever before, especially as we get into the last chapter, which was all about the thrill and seeking glory.
I'm wondering if you could like, if say Kaladin saved someone that was really on the brink, and then glory spren, because there's such a thing as a glory spren. Then glory spren spring out when he saves this person. Like
Mhm.
that could be. Is it contingent on how the person feels, or is there an actual external thing, energy that is glory, that the glory spren bring about? You know,
Do you
that the
think
glory spren come out for.
do you think there's such a thing as talent, Spren?
Mm, I mean, it could be. Why not? There's a spring for everything.
Sure.
We've got creativity spring.
Yeah. So I imagine in your scenario, it would more be
Mm.
a talent spren kind of thing. I imagine there would be glory in, say, saving the king, but the kind of glory that comes from being a doctor is just different, I think, than
Mm-hmm.
the glory of a soldier. Again, I like that word nobility for
Mm-hmm.
it. And it
So
seems
wait.
that the thrill pushes people away from nobility in favor
Uh,
of glory.
okay, good. Because I was going to ask you, like, you can be noble and glorious at the same time.
I think you
In-
can. I don't think they are mutually exclusive, but
mm.
I,
But you can get glory in the wrong direction. You know, like ignoble glory.
yeah,
Yeah.
ignoble. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's something for me to think on. And I had that thought just earlier today, so I haven't really had time to
Mm.
ruminate on it as much as I'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, shall we get into the chapter now?
Yeah.
Wandersail. I hold the suckling child in my hands, a knife at his throat, and know that all who live wish me to let the blade slip, spill its blood upon the ground over my hands, and with it gain us further breath to draw. Dated Shoshanon, 1173, 23 seconds pre-death, subject a dark-eyed youth of 16 years, sample is of particular note. So, sacrifice the child so that many can live? Is that what this is about?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. For the breath to draw is like so that we can live. So, and all who live wish me. So, like, that's a lot of people. Who is this child that you've got to know? And it doesn't sound like he wants to, but he has the knife in his hands. Is
Yeah.
this in? Is this a metaphor or is it literal? I just want to ask: has there been a sort of correlation between who the subject is and the contents of the message that came through? Like,
I feel like
does it?
there
Yeah,
must be, in the
like,
sense that I don't think it's just flavor for us. The note
mm,
taker is noting who's saying it.
yeah, because the dark. Is there a difference maybe between dark-eyed and light-eyed, male and female? Like, are there different messages coming through from these different subjects?
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I would need your map of, or your document of the of epigraphs and things for this.
Hmm. Hmm. Speaking of which, I really should start making that document because we will do an epigraph stream on this eventually, right?
Yeah, I doubt that we will have the answers by the end of the book, but having them together maybe will give us some answers.
Yeah, we can hope.
We
I'm.
know there will be more questions. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm still waiting for the Sander Lanch. I feel like things are gonna pick up like crazy soon.
Right now in this chapter.
Yeah. And all the world was shattered, Maps yelled, back arching, eyes wide, flecks of red spittle on his cheeks. The rocks trembled with their steps and the stones reached toward the heavens. We die, we die. Oh shit, nope, he's dying. This is a death rattle. I don't want to do that voice for Maps if he's dying.
Yes, this is true. That is true. Oh my god. I was like, oh, he's celebrating. He's got wine.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is bad.
Okay. Retake. And all the world was shattered, Maps yelled, back arching, eyes wide, flecks of red spittle on his cheeks. The rocks trembled with their steps, and the stones reached toward the heavens. We die! We die! He spasmed one last time, and the light faded from his eyes. Not Maps!
Okay, so now we need to figure out, not Maps, but now we need to figure out, this is a good point for us to now see whether death rattles are normal for Kaladin. This is the second one we've, let's see.
But also, okay, well, like, just like we got the previous one, what is this one about? The world was shattered. The rocks trembled with their steps. That's probably in reference to the thunderclasts.
Yeah, the big monsters.
Yeah. So so he's invoking a desolation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's been a mystery to us, so.
Yeah.
Okay. He spasmed one last time. Also, how did he die? Because I had theorized that the fact that Sadeas is now fully focused on speed and arriving first, I thought that would be good for the bridgemen.
Well, good for them because they're fast bridgemen, but there's still the normal danger of being hit by an arrow. So I suppose this is what in that battle, this is what could have happened.
Yeah. He spasmed one last time and the light faded from his eyes. Kaladin sat back, crimson blood slick on his hands, the dagger he'd been using as a surgical knife slipping from his fingers and clicking softly against the stone. The affable man lay dead on the stones of a plateau, arrow wound in his left breast open to the air, splitting the birthmark he'd claimed looked like Alethkar.
Ugh, that's just a soft note to remember. You know, you remember these little quirks about the person. Oh, it's painful.
Yeah. Although I think of all of the characters, Maps wasn't uniquely fleshed out.
Mm.
But he was the one that was like a tavern innkeeper, right?
I'm not too sure. It's just when you see Kaladin thinking, well, look, my birthmark is like Alethkar. Like it's something.
There's a memory there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's taking them, Kaladin thought. One by one. Open them up, bleed them out. We're nothing more than pouches to carry blood. Then we die, rain it down on the stones like a high storm's floods, until only I remain. I always remain.
You have a purpose, Kaladin. That's why you remain.
Yeah. Also, you have magic powers.
Yeah. So, like, literally, it's what happens. Yeah, he's basically like we're meat bags. Essentially, is what he's saying there.
Yeah, a bit of a poetic way to say it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And still no commentary on the death rattle he just heard.
Yeah, exactly. No, like, oh wow, that's what did he say? What is the meaning? This seems like it just happens. It seems ordinary.
Yeah.
Like nobody we need, if there is going to be commentary, it would be like his death rattle was this, and I wonder what that means or something. Like it's just as normal as just the breath going out of a person.
Yeah, because if Kaladin weren't hearing it, if he were forgetting it like the silence, that would be called out, or it just wouldn't be in the chapter at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's his POV, so of course he's hearing it. A layer of skin, a layer of fat, a layer of muscle, a layer of bone. That was what men were. The battle raged across the chasm. It might as well have been another kingdom for all the attention anyone gave the bridgemen. Die, 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 then get out of our way. So, more dark Kaladin.
Mm-hmm.
The members of Bridge 4 stood in a solemn ring around Kaladin.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, yay. What was that he said at the end? Scar asked. The rocks trembled? It was nothing, said thick-armed Yake. Just dying delirium. It happens to men sometimes. More often lately, it seems, Teft said. Okay, so they just wipe it off as delirium. It's not a.
Mm.
I don't doubt that it's happening more often since the desolation is coming. So I think what Teft says here is true.
Maybe Tiff, and it seems like Tiff knows more about it.
Yeah.
Like he knows what this might be part of showing that something's coming. This might be part of his lore that he understands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it happens to men sometimes, so it doesn't happen to absolutely everyone. And obviously, the scientist in me wants to know which ones it does happen to and why.
Mm-hmm. More often lately, it seems, Teft said. He held his hand to his arm where he'd hastily wrapped a bandage around an arrow wound. He wouldn't be carrying a bridge anytime soon. Maps's death and Eric's death left them with only 26 members now. It was barely enough to carry a bridge. The greater heaviness was very noticeable, and they had difficulty keeping up with the other bridge crews. A few more losses, and they'd be in serious trouble.
Okay, so this makes me go, yeah, that's why it seems like this is another reason they would leave without being trained. Like they would escape now because they can't really continue.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is like they might have to use their opportunity now. This might push them if it does happen.
yeah. I should have been faster, Kaladin thought, looking down at Maps splayed open, his insides exposed for the sun to dry. The arrowhead had pierced his lung and lodged in his spine.
Mm,
Could Lirin have saved him? I don't know. Spine injuries are pretty darn bad.
yeah, battlefield surgery as well. What do
Hmm.
you?
If Kaladin had studied in Carbronth as his father had wished, would he have learned enough, known enough to prevent deaths like this? I I, Kaladin, you're not gonna save everyone. There's no
Yeah,
amount of you are good enough to literally save everyone.
yeah. There's no amount of study that will make you able to save everyone. He himself could not. You've seen him not save people.
Yeah.
So he's just look like see the dark feelings about oneself just really just lash out and they like latch onto any opportunity. Like, haha, you're not good enough, and goes on to this. But
I'm also gonna add in Kaladin, I don't think you are virtuous by being
mm,
so hard on yourself for being unable to save everyone. And I don't
yeah,
think he's trying to be virtuous,
yeah, no, he's not.
but uh,
This doesn't
cle-
serve him.
yeah, Kaladin is clearly special, and I think part of what makes him special is his devotion to life and to saving others. But eh, you need some degree of understanding and accepting that there are things outside of your control.
Mm. But he doesn't want to be cold to it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying don't mourn, and I'm not saying don't be hard on yourself, but you cannot fall into your depression every time you lose someone. Not that you didn't with Dunny,
Yeah,
but
he's doing. Yeah,
you had a visceral reaction with Dunny. So
I I think he's improving.
I hope so.
He has to go through this every time. So every death is he's just not he will not get used to it. Every death will be painful, but maybe he'll just get quicker at getting over it. I think that's all we can expect of him
Yeah.
because the the pain that he feels when people die is part of what endears him. It would be interesting to see if that erodes away, what he becomes.
Mm, yeah. This happens sometimes, son. Kaladin raised, shaking bloody hands to his face, gripping his head as memory consumed him. A young girl, a cracked head, a broken leg, an angry father. Despair, hate, loss, frustration, horror. How could any man live this way? To be a surgeon, to live knowing that you would be too weak to save some. When other men failed, a field of crops got worms in them. When a surgeon failed, someone died.
Okay,
Hey,
when a field of crops gets worms in them, famine occurs.
that.
And yeah, it seems like life, the way that he's thinking of it is like, oh, it's about being a surgeon. It's like, no, I think no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, there is going to be some degree of failure and pain and I'm not trying to say being a surgeon is easy and as normal as being a farmer. I'm not saying that. It's just that the way that he has this need to save people,
Mm-hmm.
and whether he's being a surgeon or a soldier, he will still have that guilt because of
Yeah.
the way he wants to save everyone. Doesn't matter what he's doing. That's what I'm kind of meaning. Is like this burden of guilt when people die would follow him no matter what he's doing.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Mm.
But I mean, maybe Kaladin just shouldn't be a surgeon. Like if he's I'm not a doctor. I cannot imagine what it would be like to lose a patient. So don't get me wrong. I am in no way trying to argue for heartless doctors.
Mm-hmm.
But if you genuinely can't handle this part of the job, and doctors do need to work with some degree of stoicism,
Mm-hmm.
bedside manner is important. You need to be direct, you need to be honest, but you also can't be overly emotional. And yeah, like if you are overly emotional in the surgery room, I think you're more likely to make mistakes than not, right?
Mm-hmm. That doesn't serve the person.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the surgeonness is something that Kaladin can abandon, though. I
I
think
agree.
the need to save people would be there no matter what. So even in the thick of battle, yes, it feels good, and I suppose he has the thrill, and he feels at home when he's with the spear. There's still the aftermath of battle, and I think that would still his conscience, his character is deeply tied to saving people and maybe a bit of a savior complex.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's all his fault. It's all he should have done it. He should have been faster or whatever. You know, like he's the one that's supposed to save everyone. And it's like, okay, but why you? Oh
yeah,
well, because I have to. It's me. It's like yeah, but there's other people as well, Galadin.
yeah.
He's
And again, I'm not saying don't feel,
mm,
and I'm not saying that Kaladin becomes an emotional wreck every time he loses someone. Again, I will invoke Dunny.
mm-hmm,
But I really, really think he should think long and hard about whether or not he truly can be a doctor if this part of it
mm,
is genuinely so intolerable to him.
mm-hmm. Maybe he won't have the choice though,
Yeah.
because he has that knowledge. When somebody is in front of him needing help, he can't say, "Oh, sorry, I'm not a surgeon." He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Like it would be just as problematic for him to not try to save someone.
Yeah. Very
So
much
he has
so.
no choice.
Yeah. When a surgeon failed, someone died. You have to learn when to care. As if he could choose. Banish it like snuffing a lantern. Kaladin bowed beneath the weight. I should have saved him. I should have saved him. I should have saved him. Maps, Dunny, Amark, Goshal, Dalit, Nulma, Tien.
Kaladin,
Sill's voice.
be strong.
If I were strong, he hissed, they would live.
The other bridgemen still need you. You promised them, Kaladin. You gave your oath.
Kaladin looked up. The bridgeman seemed. Poor Sill. I'm
Yeah,
glad
so
Sill's trying to pull him out of it.
yeah, like I'm glad you care about them, but
He
listen,
hissed at
yeah,
her.
be strong. Yeah, he hissed at her, they would live. It's just yeah. If I were strong, no. You can be as strong as everything. You're still not the almighty Kaladin.
Yeah. Kaladin looked up. The bridgemen seemed anxious and worried. There were only 8 of them. Kaladin had sent the others to look for fallen bridgemen from other crews. They'd found 3 initially, minor wounds that Scar could care for. No runners had come for him. Either the bridge crews had no other wounded, or those wounded were beyond help. Yeah, they could be getting there fast enough of late to avoid
Mm-hmm.
most arrow volleys.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Or yeah, these people are making a decision. Listen, this guy's this is beyond help. Cool. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to let him go.
Maybe he should have gone to look, just in case. But, numb, he could not face yet another dying man he could not save. He stumbled to his feet and walked away from the corpse. He stepped up to the chasm and forced himself to fall into the old stance Tux had taught him. Feet apart, hands behind his back, clasping forearms, straight-backed, staring forward. The familiarity brought him strength.
Power
Good.
posing Kaladin! Yeah. Good,
You
yeah.
were...
That's what you got to do. He's
Yeah.
got to go. This is what you do need to do when you're feeling these things. Go and find strength.
Yeah. You were wrong, Father, he thought. You said I'd learn to deal with the deaths, and yet here I am. Years later, same problem. The bridgemen fell in around him. Lopen approached with a water skin. Kaladin hesitated, then accepted the skin, washing off his face and hands. The warm water splashed across his skin, then brought welcome coolness as it evaporated. He let out a deep breath, nodding thanks to the short Herdasian man.
I was just thinking as this happened, he's like, years later, same problem. It's like, but no, you're not on the floor weeping. You're not in a ball. You got a kind word from Syl, and then you stood up. And now you're taking
Yeah.
water. And now that is dealing with it, Kaladin. It's not that you don't feel it. So maybe his dad was able to not feel it, but there is a way to get used to it. Maybe his dad was feeling it and he had a different way of showing it. But that's what dealing with it is you feel it and then you move on.
Yeah.
You have to honor it. You don't completely ignore it. Like, you don't do the snuffing out a lantern thing. You let it burn out, essentially, or you light the candle and you continue moving.
Yeah. No, he's doing good right now. He's
feeling but still doing. That's what I mean. Like, he's still got to carry on. That's the thing. That he can feel it. I don't think it's a problem for him to be feeling and dealing with it.
Yeah, and except for his angsty line to Syl, he's putting on his stoic face.
Yeah.
Lopen raised an eyebrow, then gestured to the pouch tied to his waist. He had recovered the newest pouch of spheres they'd stuck to the bridge with an arrow. This was the 4th time they'd done that and had recovered them each without incident. Nice!
Nice, yeah. So, okay, we've got a good stash then, right?
Yeah. Did you have any trouble? Kaladin asked. No, Goncho, Lopen said, smiling widely. Easy as tripping a horn-eater. I heard that, Rock said gruffly, standing in parade rest a short distance away. And the rope? Kaladin asked. I dropped the whole coil right over the side, Lopen said, but I didn't tie the end to anything, just like you said. Good, Kaladin said. A rope dangling from a bridge would have just been too obvious. If Ashal or Gaz caught scent of what Kaladin was planning. And where is Gaz? Kaladin thought. Why didn't he come on the bridge run? Oh shit. Why? Do you think they sent Gaz into the chasm to make sure things are on the up and up down there?
Maybe he's got some sort of promotion. I don't know. Or he's in trouble. I don't know. I don't think... I don't want him to... I don't want that to be true, because then they're in trouble.
Yeah. But look, they got the rope down there so they could escape next time they go down if they need to.
Yes.
And so far, there's no knowledge right now if this is the same battle as last chapter or not.
Yeah.
Lopen gave Kaladin the pouch of spheres as if eager to be rid of the responsibility. Kaladin accepted it, stuffing it into his trouser pocket. Lopen retreated and Kaladin fell back into parade rest. The plateau on the other side of the chasm was long and thin with steep slopes on the sides. Just as in the last few battles, Dalinar Kholin helped Sadeas's force. He always arrived late. Perhaps he blamed his slow Chol-pulled bridges. Very convenient. His men often had the luxury of crossing without archery fire. Sadeas and
Wow, sorry, no. That is just his lens, his hateful lens on the way it is. Oh, it's very convenient for him. And the men often had the luxury of... His men often had the luxury of crossing without archery fire. That should make you like Dalinar. But it seems quite a scornful...
Not necessarily. Not if Dalinar is benefiting from
the deaths of...
From his deaths. Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, we've had a discussion about whether or not Dalinar bears moral culpability for the Bridgemen because he's benefiting from them now.
And he's not changing... Yeah, he's not making Sadeas do Chol-drawn bridges either.
Right. So I think it's a fair valid complaint, all things
Yeah,
considered,
true.
from Kaladin's
Yeah.
POV.
Yeah, it's not just, oh, I don't like Dalinar, but it's like, no. Well, yeah, it's the moral culpability of him, but we could also say, well, yeah, he's not using what Sadius is using, at least.
But
That's a
he
good thing.
is.
Yeah, well, he's using it through Sadius.
Hmm.
His bridgeman he cares for. He
Right.
doesn't have bridgeman, actually. Sorry.
Right. But yeah, and again, from even if it's not just the bridgemen that are being counted here, he's letting Sadius's forces take heavy sustained damage right off the bat
Mm,
while he takes his time to get there and play cleanup crew. So,
mm,
yeah, I think it's a valid, if ill, interpretation.
mm-hmm.
Sadius and Dalinar won more battles this way. Not that it mattered to the bridgemen. Many people were dying on the other side of the chasm, but Kaladin didn't feel a thing for them. I don't blame you. No itch to heal them, no desire to help. Kaladin could thank Hav for that, for training him to think in terms of us and them. In a way, Kaladin had learned what his father had talked about, in the wrong way, but it was something. Protect the us, destroy the them. A soldier had to think like that. And that's an interesting thought, because in the last chapter we had Dalinar thinking, wait, these Parshendi are enemy soldiers, don't they deserve respect?
Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, I've got to destroy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he started seeing the us in them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Yeah, and I'm just thinking, yeah, a soldier had to think that like, but he does. There are also people dying on Sadius's side, but they're also a them. The bridgemen
Yes.
are the us, not Sadius's army.
Correct, I think. A soldier had to think like that. So Kaladin hated the Parshendi. They were the enemy. If he hadn't learned to divide his mind like that, war would have destroyed him. Perhaps it had done so anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think it changes a person, certainly.
Yeah, yeah. You don't stay the same.
As he watched the battle, he focused on one thing in particular to distract himself. How did the Parshendi treat their dead? Their actions seemed irregular. The Parshendi soldiers rarely disturbed their dead after they fell. They'd take roundabout paths of attack to avoid dead bodies, and when the Alethi marched over the Parshendi dead, they formed points of terrible conflict. I mean, the interesting thing here isn't how the Parshendi treat their dead, it's how the Alethi treat their dead. Do they just crush their own people's corpses? Well, I guess that's what happened to Dunny. So I imagine the thrill causes them to not care at all about their own
But
dead.
I think in any battle that's normal. This kind of warfare. Bodies around you is just normal, and you're not going to go out of your way to get away from to respect a body because you're trying to survive. So it is
Hmm.
very strange that the Parshendi are going to take roundabout ways.
Good
That's how
point.
deeply ingrained it is. It's so strange that they won't step over it or something. They go around it and that sort of thing. Whereas, I mean, think of, say, the way the Battle of the Bastards looks,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
or even that Dark Knight version of it, where it's like it's piles and piles of bodies. When you're fighting like that, yeah, I think if you're down, you're down. You become part of the terrain.
Sure. The Parshendi soldiers rarely disturbed their dead after they fell. They'd take roundabout paths of attack to avoid dead bodies, and when the Alethi marched over the Parshendi dead, they formed points of terrible conflict. Did the Alethi notice? Probably not, but he could see that the Parshendi revered their dead, revered them enough to the extent that they would endanger the living to preserve the corpses of the fallen. Kaladin could use that. He would use that. Somehow.
Okay, they're dead though, not Alethi dead. I wonder if they just step on Alethi dead.
They probably don't care about Alethi dead.
Yeah.
But the question is he going to use that against the Parshendi, or is he going to use that against Sadius?
Yeah, he could use it wherever it will benefit him. He'll use it. I'm wondering,
Yeah.
do we get Shen to play dead or something?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like maybe if except that he hates the Parshendi, but I could imagine a world in which they bump into some Parshendi And so Shen
Mhm.
pretends to die, and Kaladin, as a doctor, pretends to save him. And then suddenly, oh my god, Kaladin's
Or
a
he
hero to
does
the
save him.
Parshendi. Or he
Or he
does,
does
yeah.
shame. Yeah.
The Alethi eventually won the battle. Before long, Kaladin and his team were slogging back across the plateau, carrying their bridge, 3 wounded lashed to the top. They had found only those 3, and a part of Kaladin felt sick inside as he realized another part of him was glad. He'd already rescued some 15 men from other bridge crews, and it was straining their resources, even with the money from the pouches to feed them. Their barrack was crowded with the wounded.
Okay, so we're not getting any of this battle with the 2 armies, actually, 2 Parshendi armies. We're not getting any of that.
Yeah, so it seems that this is probably a later one.
Yeah, but a later one. But I want to know what Kaladin was doing in that previous one.
I do
What he
too.
thought of it. I want to know what he thought of it. What he
I
thought of
because
Dalinar.
I had imagined him like watching that scene and thinking, why
Mm,
is Dalinar going in alone like that? I
yeah,
don't understand. And then I was expecting him to like ruminate and for that to challenge his presuppositions about
exactly.
Dalinar.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. But it seems like, yeah, that hasn't that has that's already occurred or not occurred. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Yeah. Bridge 4 reached a chasm and Kaladin moved to lower his burden. The process was rote to him now. Lower the bridges, quickly untie the wounded, push the bridge across the chasm. Kaladin checked on the 3 wounded. Every man he rescued this way seemed bemused at what he'd done, even though he'd been doing it for weeks now. Satisfied that they were all right, he moved to stand at parade rest while the soldiers crossed. Okay.
Maybe this is the one. I don't know. They're like they think the battle's won, but the way it happened, it was still during the battle. It's not that it finished. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's not this one. I'm still confused.
Bridge 4 fell in around him. Increasingly, they earned scowls from the soldiers, both dark-eyed and light-eyed, who crossed. Why do they do that? Moash said quietly as a passing soldier tossed an overripe pile vine fruit at the bridgemen. Dick!
Oh jeez, what? Boo! Well, like, excuse me?
Ah, I'd be so mad.
Like,
Someone would.
yeah, I just got you there with the lives of my fellow men. Screw you.
Yeah, it's one thing to jeer, which you shouldn't be doing, but
But
throwing shit?
throwing?
No, someone's
Yeah.
got to hold me back. I will. I will. What worse can they do to me?
That's just rude. Yeah, what worse can they do to you? Like, listen, you're already just putting me in the firing line all the time. So,
Yeah.
and also just the act of throwing food. It's like they have more food than the bridgemen.
Yeah.
So, oh, you are so privileged that you can have rotten fruit. You know, you can afford that, and you can throw it at someone. It's just all kinds of wrong.
Yeah. Moash wiped the stringy red fruit from his face, then sighed and fell back into his stance. Kaladin had never asked them to join him, but they did it each time. When I fought Namarem's army, Kaladin said, I dreamed about joining the troops at the Shattered Plains. Everyone knew that the soldiers left in Alethkar were the dregs. We imagined the real soldiers, off fighting in the glorious war to bring retribution to those who had killed our king. Those soldiers would treat their fellows with fairness. Their discipline would be firm. Each would be an expert with a spear, and he would not break rank on the battlefield. To the side, Teft snorted quietly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought reading that.
Yeah, it was a naive belief.
Yeah. Kaladin turned to Moash. Why do they treat us so, Moash? Because they know they should be better than they are. Because they see discipline in bridgemen and it embarrasses them. Rather than bettering themselves, they take the easier road of jeering at us.
Yeah, I'm with him on that assessment. It's like, what, you think you're better than me? You know, that thought, which when somebody says you think you're better than me, it's because they've perceived that that person is better than them and they're uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
And just by being better, it's like an insult to that person. Just by having somebody better than them in front of them, they're like, oh, this must be an attack from this
Yeah.
person. It's like, actually, no, you're being reminded of how you lack something. So I agree with Kaladin here.
Yeah. There is a bit of acting above your station sort of
Yeah,
element. Like I could see someone perceiving it as what you think you're better than me.
yeah, but I suppose acting above their station, that's just based on the perception that you don't realize how freaking integral these bridgemen are for you,
Yeah.
and how absolutely discarded they are. So yeah, even that perception is still wrong.
Yeah. Dalinar Kholin soldiers don't act like that, Scar said from just behind Kaladin. His men march in straight ranks. If they're on duty, they don't leave their coats unbuttoned or lounge about. Will I never stop hearing about Dalinar storming Kholin? Kaladin thought. Men had spoken that way of Amaram. How easy it was to ignore a blackened heart if you dressed it in a pressed uniform and a reputation for honesty.
Oh, I love how wrong he is.
Yeah,
The
there's.
dramatic irony is great. It's like, oh, we know. If you
I
know, you
agree.
know.
I agree. That's also another very poetic way of saying
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Slight echoes of repetitive Sanderson in that he has hit this beat several times before. So it's a surefire sign that that thought is going to come to a head at some point, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. He's got to hit this beat so much so that when it changes, there is a large impact.
Yeah. Several hours later, the sweaty and exhausted group of bridgemen tramped up the incline to the lumber yard. They dumped their bridge in its resting place. It was getting late. Kaladin would have to purchase food immediately if they were going to have supplies for the evening stew. He wiped his hands on his towel as the members of Bridge 4 lined up. So do you think they're going to be sent down into the chasm then, before they can get food? Do you think
Mm.
Wit is going to join them for food? Because
I
you
don't
said
know.
Wit was going to be in this?
Yeah, I don't know what the mask. Because usually with the mask, there is when there's a mask on the chapter head for me. This is my. I might be mistaken. If there's no what, then my association is wrong, and it's about Kaladin.
Okay. He wiped his hands on his towel as the members of Bridge 4 lined up. You're dismissed for evening activities, he said. We have chasm duty early tomorrow. Morning bridge practice will have to be moved to late afternoon. The bridgemen nodded, then Moash raised a hand. As one, the bridgemen raised their arms and crossed them, wrists together, hands in fists. It had the look of a practiced effort. After that, they trotted away. A
Yeah, they
salute?
saluted him. Yeah,
Yeah, neat.
booby.
Kaladin raised an eyebrow, tucking his towel into his belt. Teft hung back, smiling. What was that? Kaladin asked. The men wanted a salute, Taft said. We can't use a regular military salute, not with the spearmen already thinking we're too big-headed, so I taught them my old squad salute. When? This morning, while you were getting our schedule from Hashal.
Okay, so that was the first time they'd done it. Okay,
Oh, that's cute.
that's cool, and it's from Teft, and Teft also knows reasons to has more reason to do these things.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kaladin smiled. Odd how he could still do that. Nearby, the other 19 bridge crews on today's run dropped off their bridges one by one. Had Bridge 4 once looked like them, with those ragged beards and haunted expressions? None of them spoke to one another. Some few glanced at Kaladin as they passed, but they looked down as soon as they saw he was watching. They'd stopped treating Bridge 4 with the contempt they'd once shown. Curiously, they now seemed to regard Kaladin's crew as they did everyone else in camp, as people above them. They hastened to avoid his notice.
That's not something you want. You want them to be inspired by you. But they're so downtrodden and makes sense that they'll just be like, oh, well, you're above.
Yeah, but also, Kaladin, really pay attention to that because it shows how far you've come. Even if you
Mm-hmm.
can't save Bridge 4,
Yeah.
as Sigzil said, you've given air to
Giving
a
them more
drowning
life.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And also the fact that he can smile. It's like, yeah, so you see, you are getting better at this,
Mm-hmm.
at dealing.
Yeah. Poor sodden fools, Kaladin thought. Could he maybe persuade Hashal to let him take a few into Bridge 4? He could use the extra men, and seeing those slumped figures twisted his heart. No way Hashal agrees to it.
Yeah.
She's trying to get them killed.
Mm-hmm.
I know that look, lad, Teft said. Why is it you always have to help everyone?
Yeah, good question. Good therapist question.
Bah, Kaladin said. I can't even protect Bridge 4. Here, let me look at that arm of yours. It's not that bad. Kaladin grabbed his arm anyway, peeling away the blood-crusted bandage. The cut was long, but shallow. We need antiseptic on this, Kaladin said, noting a few red rot spren crawling around on the wound. I should probably sew it up. So help me if Taft dies.
No, we can't have him dying. Like, he loses his arm, okay? That's it.
Oh no. Then it would be both him and Lopen.
Yeah, that's fine.
Seriously, if Taft dies, I will throw this book out.
I won't throw the book out because it's in my iPad, but I will delete it from it.
It's not that bad. Still, Kaladin said, waving for Teft to follow as he approached one of the rain barrels alongside the lumberyard. The wound was shallow enough that Teft would probably be able to show the other spear thrusts and blocks tomorrow during chasm duty, but that was no excuse for leaving it alone to fester or scar. At the rain barrel, Kaladin washed out the wound, then called for Lopen, who was standing in the shade beside the barrack, to bring his medical equipment. The Herdazian man gave that salute again, though he did it with one arm, and sauntered away to get the pack. So, lad, Teft said, how do you feel? Any odd experiences lately?
Please, can we get some lore here and just tell him, hey, you're the chosen one.
Yeah, please, just say it. I gotta know, because he's not gonna tell you by your fishing. You have to directly ask.
Yeah. And show him, just,
Yeah. Kaladin frowned, looking up from the arm. Storm it, Teft. That's the 5th time in 2 days you've asked me that. What are you getting at? Good, Kaladin. Nothing.
Stupid Teft. Why? Why? Is there some prophecy reason that Kaladin's got to figure it out himself or something?
That is something that ran through my mind, yeah. As a possibility. It is something, Kaladin said. What is it you're digging for, Teft? Gancho, Lopen said, walking up carrying the medical supply pack over his shoulder. Here you go. God damn it, Lopen.
He was just doing as told. Scram, Lopen. We're busy.
Yeah, don't distract this important thing. This upsets me. If this genuinely stops that conversation dead cold.
Sanderson, you dog.
Blue balls shit. Kaladin glanced at him, then reluctantly accepted the pack. He pulled the drawstring open. We'll want to... A quick motion came from Teft, like a punch being thrown. Oh shit! What's happening?
I don't know. Teft is testing him or something? It is prophesied. This is part of the prophecy. He's got to punch him.
Yeah, I can't see how this would be connected to the other thing. Maybe he's afraid of needles type situation?
Yeah, I don't know.
Kaladin moved by reflex, taking in a sharp breath, moving to a defensive stance, arm up, one hand a fist, the other back to block. Something blossomed within Kaladin, like a deep breath drawn in, like a burning liquor injected directly into his blood. Okay. Maybe he unlocked Kaladin's chi.
No, I think he's made Kaladin... He's got a sphere or whatever, and he's made Kaladin use it by threatening him. So he's made him use his power by instinct. And then he said, look, now it's like, see what just happened? Instead of saying, I'm going to make you try and channel this power, he just made him do it by instinct.
Channel the power. Okay.
Yeah.
In front of Lopen, though? Can Lopen keep a secret?
Maybe it's not time. The time for secrets is over.
A powerful wave pulsed through his body. Energy, strength, awareness. It was like the body's natural alert response to danger, only it was 100-fold more intense. Kaladin caught Teft's fist, moving blurringly quick. Teft froze. What are you doing? Kaladin demanded. Teft was smiling. He stepped back, pulling his fist free. Kalek, he said, shaking his hand. That's some grip you've got. Why did you try to strike me? I wanted to see something, Teft said. You're holding that... Why?
I'm laughing at what I'm reading. Okay, go.
Okay. I wanted to see something, Teft said. You're holding that pouch of spheres Lopen gave you, you see, in your own pouch with what we've gathered lately. More stormlight than you've probably ever carried, at least recently.
Okay, yes, demonstration. That's it. Cool. Let's
Ye-
talk. Show him. And now he hasn't seen he might be stupid and be like, oh well, they weren't infused. They already lost their charge. But it's like now all of them are gonna have no charge.
If he did the thing,
Hmm.
which it sounds like he did,
Yeah, he absolutely did.
yeah. Drop some lore, Taft, quickly. What does that have to do with anything? Kaladin demanded. What was that heat inside of him? That burning in his veins? Concho, Lopin said, his voice odd. You're glowing!
That's beautiful. He's pregnant.
Okay. I mean, I thought he went Super Saiyan, but
Yes, no, but it's just a thing that you say to pregnant women that they're glowing. So I'm just,
I'm aware.
but yeah, it's maybe that it's better that Lopin's there, so that Lopin is a witness. It's not
You
just
can't deny it. True.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. Kaladin frowned. What is he? And then he noticed it. It was very faint, but it was there. Wisps of luminescent smoke curling up from his skin, like steam coming off a bowl of hot water on a cold winter night. Shaking, Kaladin put the medical pack on the broad rim of the water barrel. He felt a moment of coldness on his skin. What was that? Shocked, he raised his other hand, looking at the wisps streaming off of it. Do not forget to antiseptize Teft, by the way.
Yeah,
Disinfect.
or like blast him and and cauterize or something.
What did you do to me? He demanded, looking up at Teft. The older bridgeman was still smiling. Answer me! Kaladin said, stepping forward, grabbing the front of Teft's shirt. Stormfather, but I feel strong.
Yeah, don't break him now, guys. Relax.
Yeah. I didn't do anything, lad, Teft said. You've been doing this for a while now. I caught you feeding off Stormlight when you were sick. Stormlight. Kaladin hastily released Teft, fishing at the pouch of spheres in his pocket. He yanked it free and pulled it open. It was dark inside. All 5 gemstones had been drained. Finally, we're getting some comprehension.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really this is a good demonstration here. It skips a lot of convincing.
Yeah. The white light streaming from Kaladin's skin faintly illuminated the inside of the bag. Now that's something, Lopin said from the side. Kaladin spun to find the Herdasian man bending down and looking at the medical pack. Why was that so important? Then Kaladin saw it. He thought he'd set the pack on the rim of the barrel, but in his haste he'd just pressed it against the side of the barrel. The pack now clung to the wood. He lashed!
Yes!
Yay!
Yeah, he can lash. Okay, cool. This is exactly what other guy does.
Yep. Zeth.
Zeth, yeah.
Stuck there, hanging as if from an invisible hook, faintly steaming light just like Kaladin. As Kaladin watched, the light faded and the pack slumped free and fell to the ground. Hope you don't spill that antiseptic Teft still
Yeah,
needs.
I hope there's no glass in there or anything.
Kaladin raised a hand to his forehead, looking from the surprised Lopin to the curious Teft. Then he glanced around the lumberyard, frantic. Nobody else was looking at them. In the sunlight, the vapors were too faint to see from a distance. Stormfather. What? How? He caught sight of a familiar shape above. Syl moved like a blown leaf, tossing this way and that, leisurely, faint. She did it, Kaladin thought. What has she done to me?
It's all about people doing stuff to you. You fine, do it again.
I think that's a great logical thought. You're not going to think you're magical. It's the strange magical being.
Yeah, exactly. It's the magical being, and then also just keep doing it though. But thanks for telling me, Syl.
Yeah. He stumbled away from Lopin and Teft, running towards Syl. Do not forget Teft's. It's fine. He'll be fine. His footsteps propelled him forward with too much speed.
He's over. It's like he's burning pizza, and he's like, "Whoa!"
Syl! He bellowed, stopping beneath her.
Oh my gosh, she looks so crazy right now. But okay.
Syl zipped down to hover before him, changing from a leaf to a young woman standing in the air.
Yes?
Kaladin glanced around. Come with me, he said, hurrying up one of the alleys between barracks. He pressed himself up against a wall, standing in the shade, breathing in and out. Nobody could see him here. Syl alighted in the air before him, hands behind her back, looking closely at him.
You're glowing.
What have you done to me? She cocked her head, then shrugged.
No, that's not helping. Did she do something when she unlocked it?
I don't think she did anything. I think she's attracted to it.
Yeah.
What have you done to me? She cocked her head, then shrugged. Still, he said threateningly. He wasn't certain what harm he could do us, Spren.
I don't know, Kaladin,
she said frankly, sitting down, her legs hanging over the side of the invisible platform.
I can only faintly remember things I used to know so well. This world interacting with men.
But you did do something.
We have done something. It wasn't me. It wasn't you. But together.
She shrugged again. Wait, does this mean that Zeth has a Spren?
Spren? Yeah.
He's never thought of one.
Is he, like, shamed because he somehow did harm to his Spren? To his Spren? And that's why he's, like... I thought his power is what made him, like, this pariah kind of guy.
I thought it was that he killed someone.
Well, yeah, I thought that's what my idea was.
Oh, yeah.
That it was because of his power he's like this. Oh, he's outcast in some way. Maybe it's this. Maybe he did kill a Spren, and that's the thing that he killed, the person he killed.
Oh no. She shrugged again. That isn't very helpful. She grimaced.
I know. I'm sorry.
Kaladin raised a hand. In the shade, the light streaming off of him was more obvious. If someone walked by, how do I get rid of it?
Why do you want to get rid of it?
Well, because... Syl didn't respond.
It's a great argument.
Yeah. Look, he's scared. He doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah, because it's quite... It will get him a bit more undue notice, okay? We don't need it.
Yeah. Syl didn't respond. Something occurred to Kaladin. Something perhaps he should have asked long ago. You're not a Windspren, are you? She hesitated, then shook her head.
No.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Great blind. I'm all about this.
Yeah.
What are you, then?
I don't know. I bind things.
Like lashing.
Okay, so like lashing, she binds things, but okay, this is kind of like with Shadesmar, we use this external power. We go to another place and we talk to the spirit of the thing and we make it change, right? Mm-hmm. That seems to be it. So it's like there's always, it seems like there's some sort of partnership that has to happen with this magic system. But I bind things. Do you need a Spren to bind things, or is she binds what things? What does she mean by I bind things?
Maybe
bind things
like
to their power?
Oaths?
Yeah.
Oaths?
Yeah.
Bind things. When she played pranks, she made items stick together. Shoes stuck to the ground and made men trip. Like lashing! People reached for their jackets hanging on hooks and couldn't pull them free. Kaladin reached down, picking a stone up off the ground. It was as big as his palm, weathered smooth by high storms and rain. He pressed it against the wall of the barrack and willed his light into the stone. He felt a chill. The rock began to stream with luminescent vapors. When Kaladin pulled his hand away, the stone remained where it was, clinging to the side of the building. You learned a thing!
You learned a thing. But, okay, so you just willed it. I love that, because that is what magic is supposed to be. It's like the will performing something, right? But, yeah, okay, so when Syl does these things with the shoes and stuff, nobody's going, my shoe's glowing, you know? And,
right.
So she's got some different kind of way of doing it.
Yeah. Kaladin leaned close, squinting. He thought he could faintly make out tiny Spren, dark blue and shaped like little splashes of ink, clustering around the place where the rock met the wall.
Ooh. Bind Spren,
Syl said, walking up beside his head. I loved the way you read that line, by the way. Really great. Syl said, walking up beside his head. She was still standing in the air. They're holding the rock in place.
Maybe. Or maybe they're attracted to what you've done in affixing the stone there. Oh, you said it yourself. You said the word attracted. She's attracted to it.
That's not how it works, is it?
Do rotspren cause sickness?
Syl said idly.
Or are they attracted to it?
Everyone knows they cause it.
Well, we've had this question ourselves.
Yeah.
So we don't know. But yes, in your world, I suppose. And do windspren cause the wind? Rainspren cause the rain? Flamespren cause fires?
He hesitated. No, they didn't, did they? This is pointless. I need to find out how to get rid of this light, not study it.
And why?
Syl repeated.
Must you get rid of it? Kaladin, you've heard the stories. Men who walked on walls, men who bound the storms to them, windrunners. Why would you want to be rid of something like this? Yeah, it's freaking cool.
Yeah.
If you can, you want to save everyone, this is a pretty good asset to have. Can you imagine?
It's gonna help.
Can you imagine the bridge crew like? So you're telling us that you could bind things and whatever, and you didn't help us?
And how easy do you think it's gonna be to fight Amaram next time when he has a shard blade and plate that works on stormlight? Stupid Kaladin.
No, I don't want to be different. He's not accepting the call to adventure. And
bind all the arrows to the ground.
Yeah.
Kaladin struggled to define it. The healing, the way he never got hit, running at the front of the bridge. Yes, he'd known something odd was happening. Why did it frighten him so? Was it because he feared being set apart like his father always was as the surgeon in Hearthstone? Or was it something greater? Bit of both?
Yeah, a bit of both. It's greater. It's like, yeah, it's pretty daunting to figure out that you've got now, with great power comes great responsibility. So, yeah, that's going to be quite heavy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing what the Radiance did, he said.
That's what I just said.
What? When did she say that? Oh,
she said windrunners.
I guess she did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, but we didn't know that windrunners were the same thing.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah, it makes sense, but yeah, it's confirmation.
Yeah. I've been wondering if I'm bad luck, or if I've run afoul of something like the old magic. Maybe this explains it. The Almighty cursed the Lost Radiance for betraying mankind. What if I'm cursed too because of what I'm doing? Okay, first off, what have you done to merit being curse-worthy? But second off, yeah, that you've been thinking you're cursed for a while, so that seems like a logical place to go.
You've been thinking you've got something going on. But yeah, of course he's cursed because he didn't save people, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And because of what I'm doing. It's not cursed. What does he mean by because of what I'm doing? Like, is he cursed because he's using the magic? It's bad for him to use it?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Or is it, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Let's see, maybe we get more clarity. Kaladin, you are not cursed.
You just said you don't know what's happening. He paced in the alleyway. To the side, the rock finally plopped free and clattered to the ground. Where's Lopin and Teft, by the way? Did they not follow?
They're like, no, just maybe Teft's like, give him a moment.
Can you say with all certainty that what I'm doing might not have drawn bad luck down upon me? Do you know enough to deny it completely, Syl?
Okay, so that is really what he's thinking. It's because he's got the magic, that's why he's cursed. Not he's cursed with the magic. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. She stood in the air, her arms folded, saying nothing. This thing, Kaladin said, gesturing toward the stone. It isn't natural. The Radiance betrayed mankind. Their powers left them and they were cursed. Everyone knows the legends. Okay, but you just disproved yourself. They were cursed. Their powers left them and they were cursed. You have the power. Therefore, you are opposite of cursed. You are blessed.
Yes, exactly. That if that's the logic you're going through, that, okay, their powers left them and they were cursed. So it's like the curse of losing their powers. You're right. You're exactly. You're the opposite of cursed. You're blessed. Everyone knows the legends. And everyone knows the legends. I don't know if those legends are accurate by this time.
That too. He looked down at his hands, still glowing, though more faintly than before. Whatever we've done, whatever has happened to me, I've somehow brought upon myself their same curse. That's why everyone around me dies when I try to help them. Oh, you stupid Kaladin.
Yeah, he's really he's really grasping for this. It's like he really wants an answer for why everybody around him dies. It's like, no, that's just how life is. And look at your life, dude. Look where you are. You are in a battlefield, in a war zone. I'm
Yeah,
thinking everyone around you dies because you're in a war zone.
yeah. I'm sorry. Stop being such a goddamn narcissist, Kaladin. When you put yourself in situations where people die, and then you get oh so shocked when you can't save every goddamn person. Screw you, Kaladin.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, I'm cursed. These people died because I was there. It's not so much like that positive narcissism, but it is being. It's a way that of thinking of the world that everything is your fault.
Yeah.
Not. I suppose a narcissist would think everything is their credit. You know, it's their accomplishment. Whereas this kind of self-centeredness is everything is my fault. I'm to blame, and it's just so faulty.
Yeah. That's why everyone around me dies when I try to help them.
And you think I'm a curse?
She asked him. Well, you said you're part of it, and the cope. She strode
Yeah.
forward, pointing at him, a tiny, irate woman hanging in the air.
Yes, as you should be, good girl. So you think I've caused all of this? Your failures? The deaths?
Kaladin didn't respond. He realized almost immediately that silence might be the worst response. Yeah, good. Say something. Syl, surprisingly human in her emotions, spun in the air with a wounded look and zipped away, forming a ribbon of light.
Yeah, bye.
She'll get over it, but stupid Kaladin.
Yeah,
Very angry with him.
And yeah, she's so innocent as well. She's gonna be hurt quite easily.
Yeah. I'm overreacting, he told himself. He was
You
just
think?
so yeah. He was just so unsettled. Look, we would so be complaining if he just took this in stride. Like
Yeah,
this is
that's
all
true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
him processing this is all completely valid.
Hmm. Yeah, true. We would be like, "Hello, like you're so affected by deaths and things. How are you taking this in your stride?" Yeah, we would probably call him like a narcissist for being like, "Of course, I'm the chosen one," kind of thing. So yeah, I agree. He's not overreacting.
I mean, he is overreacting. Lashing out at Syl wasn't cool,
Yeah.
but he could have played it cool while freaking out on the inside. But
Yeah, do it the other way, Kaladin. Freak out inside. Don't freak out outside. Okay.
I'm overreacting, he told himself. He was just so unsettled. He leaned back against the wall, hand to head. Before he had time to collect his thoughts, shadows darkened, the entry to the alleyway. Teft and Lopin. Okay, good, they caught up. Don't forget to
Yeah.
sterilize them. Rock talkers, Lopin said. You really shine in shade, Gancho.
I love him.
Me too, he's fun. Teft gripped Lopin's shoulder. He's not gonna tell anyone, lad. I'll make certain of it. Yeah, Gancho, Lopin said. I swore I'd say nothing. You can trust a Hadesian.
Mm. Can you trust this one though? I mean, he's very theatrical and interesting. I don't know if maybe he will inadvertently just be like, yeah, he's glowing, huh, and like
Yeah, he strikes me as the guy to like try to make secret comments in front of people.
Yeah.
Or he might get drunk.
Mm.
Kaladin looked at the two, overwhelmed. He pushed past them. No, talk to them! Stupid! Obviously, Teft has answers. Talk to Teft.
Yes, exactly. But he's so overwhelmed. He's so over it.
He pushed past them, running out of the alley and across the lumberyard, fleeing from watching eyes.
So he's got a super run there. He's probably gonna. Okay, but at least he's out of the shade. So don't go in the shade. You'll be noticed.
Yeah. Do the Spider-Man wall climb until you run out of light.
He could probably just lash himself and stand there waiting for it.
Line break.
Mm-hmm.
By the time night drew close, the light had long since stopped streaming from Kaladin's body. It had faded like a fire going out and had only taken a few minutes to vanish. Kaladin walked southward along the edge of the shattered plains, in that transitional area between the war camps and the plains themselves. In some areas, like at the staging area near Sadius's lumberyard, there was a gentle slope leading down between the two. At other points, there was a short ridge 8 or so feet tall. He passed one of these now, rocks to his right, open plains to his left.
Okay, this is a lot of focus on where he's at.
Yeah.
Why?
Kaladin's about to do some serious soul searching, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Hollows, crevices, and nooks scored the rock. Some shadowed sections here still hid pools of water from the high storms days ago. Creatures still scuttled around the rocks, though the cooling evening air would soon drive them to hide. He passed a place pocked with small water-filled holes. Kremlings, multi-legged, bearing tiny claws, their elongated bodies plated with carapace, lapped and fed at the edges. A small tentacle snapped out, yanking one down into the hole. Probably a grasper. Huh.
Sounds like it. Is he going to where they hide spheres, or
I
he's
got
just
the
taking a walk in the
impression that
garden?
yeah, I think he's just walking
Mhm.
like he has in the past. Processing.
Mm.
Grass grew up the side of the ridge beside him, and the blades peeked from their holes. Bunches of finger moss sprouted like flowers amid the tree. The bright pink and purple finger moss tendrils were reminiscent of tentacles themselves, waving at him in the wind. When he passed, the timid grass pulled back, but the finger moss was bolder. The clumps would only pull into their shells if he tapped the rock near them. Above him, on the ridge, a few scouts stood watch over the shattered plains. This area beneath the ridge belonged to no specific high prince, and the scouts ignored Kaladin. He would only be stopped if he tried to leave the war camps at the southern or northern ends. That seems noteworthy.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, a whole crowd of them would be noteworthy.
That's true.
Mm.
None of the bridgemen had come after him. He wasn't certain what Teft had told them. Perhaps he'd said Kaladin was distraught following Maps's death. Probably believable.
Yeah, plausible.
It felt odd to be alone. Ever since he'd been betrayed by Amaram and made a slave, he had been in the company of others, slaves with whom he'd plotted, bridgemen with whom he'd worked, soldiers to guard him, slave masters to beat him, friends to depend on him. The last time he'd been alone had been that night when he'd been tied up for the high storm to kill him. No, he thought, I wasn't alone that night. Syl was there. Yeah, apologize to Syl.
Yeah, I was about to say he has part of the whole reason he hasn't been alone for a really long time is Syl, but now realize that Syl was there trying to help you, like her little self trying to help you.
He lowered his head, passing small cracks in the ground to his left. Those lines eventually grew into chasms as they moved eastward. What was happening to him? He wasn't delusional. Teft and Lopin had seen it too. Teft had actually seemed to expect it. Yeah!
Yes, that's why you need to talk to him, but you know, it's taking him a while.
Teach me, Obi Teft.
Yeah, but he doesn't know he's the hero of the story, okay? You've got to give him a break.
Fair. Kaladin should have died during that high storm. And yet, he had been up and walking shortly afterward. His ribs should still be tender, but they hadn't ached in weeks. His spheres and those of the other bridgemen near him had consistently run out of stormlight. Had it been the high storm that had changed him? But no, he'd discovered Drain's spheres before being hung out to die. And Syl, she'd as much as admitted responsibility for some of what had happened. This had been going on a long time.
I don't think Syl had like a hand in it that like she knew what she was doing. It's just she's part of it. That's all.
Symbiotic relationship type thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like as he develops, she develops.
Yep. He stopped beside a rock outcropping, resting against it, causing the grass to shrink away. He looked eastward over the shattered plains, his home, his sepulchre. This life on them was ripping him apart. Yeah, that's morbid. Mm-hmm. Sepulchre.
Mm-hmm.
The bridgemen looked up to him, thought him their leader, their savior. Sort of. Yeah, I guess they're relying on him for an escape.
Yeah,
and as a doctor.
They don't have much else to live for, so yeah.
But they also know what situation they're in. Like they know. Yeah.
They hope, but they also know they don't blame him if he fails.
Yeah. But he had cracks in him, like the cracks in the stone here at the edges of the plains. Those cracks were growing larger. He kept making promises to himself. Well, stop doing that! Like a man running a long distance with no energy left. Just a little farther. Run just to that next hill, then you can give up. Tiny fractures, fissures in the stone. Okay, no, don't give up. I mean, stop
Yeah.
making promises to save everyone, because that's what's
Hmm.
killing you.
Yeah, the tiny fractures, like you break yourself open every single time you expect to save everyone. But
Mm-hmm.
also this idea of taking one step at a time, just a little further, just a little further, just a little further. That is also a strategy that works, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
One step at a
but
time.
one step at a time, fine, that works. It's not, you're not lying to yourself, you're just getting yourself there. And hey, I made it. Cool, let's continue.
It's right that I came here, he thought. We belong together, you and I. I'm like you. What had made the planes break in the first place? Some kind of great weight? No, it was a nuke. Probably.
Yeah, the weight of a huge force going through everything.
Yeah. A melody began playing distantly, carrying over the plains. Kaladin jumped at the sound. It was so unexpected, so out of place that it was startling despite its softness. Ah, is it Hoyd? Is it Wit?
Hmm.
The sounds were coming from the plains, hesitant yet unable to resist. He walked forward, eastward onto the flat, windswept rock. The sounds grew louder as he walked, but they were still haunting, elusive. A flute, though one lower in pitch than most he'd heard. As he grew closer, Kaladin smelled smoke. A light was burning out there. A tiny campfire.
It could be Wits. Oh my gosh, I was right.
Kaladin Kitty called it, probably.
Maybe.
Kaladin walked out to the edge of this particular peninsula, a chasm growing from the cracks until it plunged down into darkness. At the very tip of the peninsula, surrounded on three sides by chasm, Kaladin found a man sitting on a boulder wearing a light-eyes black uniform. A small fire of rockbud shell burned in front of him. The man's hair was short and black, his face angular. He wore a thin black-sheathed sword at his waist. Ah, I bet it's him. The man's eyes were a pale blue. Kaladin had never heard of a light-eyed man playing a flute. Didn't they consider music a feminine pursuit?
Well, that's why he's doing it out here.
Yes, must hide that shame.
Mhm.
Light-eyed men sang, but they didn't play instruments unless they were ardents. This man was extremely talented. The odd melody he played was alien, almost unreal, like something from another place in time. Oh yeah, it's totally Hoyd. It echoed down the chasm and came back. It almost sounded like the man was playing a duet with himself. Kaladin stopped a short I bet that sounds hauntingly beautiful.
Imagine just hearing you like know it's from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That you've never heard anything like it.
Kaladin stopped a short distance away, realizing that the last thing he wanted to do now was deal with a Bright Lord, particularly one who was eccentric enough to dress in black and wander out onto the shattered plains to practice his flute. Kaladin turned to go. The music cut off. Kaladin paused. I always worry that I'll forget how to play her, a soft voice said from behind. It's silly, I know, considering how long I've practiced, but these days I rarely give her the attention she deserves. Kaladin turned toward the stranger. His flute was carved from a dark wood that was almost black. The instrument seemed too ordinary to belong to a Light Eyes, yet the man held it reverently. What are you doing here? Kaladin asked.
What is he doing there other than playing?
Yeah.
Like he was we thought he was on the run, right?
Yeah, we thought he was on the run. I
Yeah.
thought he was prepared to leave Roshar.
Mm.
It does make me wonder if, like, someone or something told him to go speak to Kaladin. Because, look, Hoyd is obviously a person who speaks to people of consequence with a
Mm-hmm.
light touch, trying to make waves,
Mm-hmm.
start waves. And it's questionable. It seems to be for good if he's
Mm.
dealing in support of Dalinar and Kaladin and Kelsier and presumably Vin and Elend. So,
But he does seem to
like,
have as a character something self-serving about him.
very
And
much so.
I get that definitely from Elantris.
Yeah. Again, very much so. So,
Mm.
what does he know? What doesn't he know? Who is pointing him in the direction of influential people.
Mm.
What are you doing here? Kaladin asked. Sitting, occasionally playing. I mean, why are you here? Why I'm here, the man said, lowering his flute, leaning back and relaxing. Why are any of us here? That's a rather deep question for a first meeting, young bridgeman. I generally prefer introductions before theology. Lunch, too, if it can be found. Perhaps a nice nap. Actually, practicing anything should come before theology, but especially introductions.
Oh, mamma mia. This is like he's used to soldier talk, soldier speak, and all of this. This waffle from Wit is just not. Oh, it's frustrating.
Yeah. All right, Kaladin said. And you are? Sitting, occasionally playing, with the minds of bridgemen. Ugh.
Cute.
Kaladin reddened, turning again to go. Let the fool Light Eyes say and do what he wished. Kaladin had difficult decisions to think about. Well, off with you then, the Light Eyes said from behind. Glad you are going. Wouldn't want you too close. I'm rather attached to my Stormlight.
Ooh, he knows.
Yep.
How does he know?
Yep.
Does he have one of those like power reading things?
A scouter?
Yeah. He's like, I know.
I mean, I can only imagine he's been watching Kaladin for the day.
Mm-hmm.
I am reminded that he had one of those spheres of light in your chapter in Elantris that I didn't have. So maybe he had.
Ooh.
Okay, maybe that's how he's keeping tabs on important folks and how and when he decides to go.
But that sphere thing, right, was a dark sphere.
Hmm.
So that could come from Shadesmar, kind of thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you think the spheres are Spren?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know what the spheres are, but the point is, the way that thing was described, it seems like it's like those things, the sea of,
the sea of dark spheres.
Mm-hmm.
Kaladin froze, then he spun. What? My spheres, the strange man said, holding up what appeared to be a fully infused emerald brome. Oh, he's totally going to steal that Stormlight in this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that bridgemen are thieves, or at least beggars.
He's playing with the mind. He knows. He knows.
Oh yeah. He has planned this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he had been talking about spheres. He didn't know about Kaladin's affliction, did he? The man's eyes twinkled as if at a grand joke. Oh, he totally did. Don't be insulted at being called a thief, the man said, raising a finger. Kaladin frowned. Where had the sphere gone? He had been holding it in that hand. I meant it as a compliment. A compliment? Calling someone a thief? Of course. I myself am a thief. You are? What do you steal? Pride, the man said, leaning forward, and occasionally boredom, if I may take the pride unto myself. I am the king's wit, or I was until recently. I think I shall probably lose the title soon. The king's what? Wit! It was my job to be witty. Saying yay, confirmed.
Yeah. He's gonna lose the title because he just disappeared.
Most likely.
Like, that's disrespectful. So even if he came back, they'd be like, hello? Yeah.
Saying confusing things isn't the same as being witty. Ah, the man said, eyes twinkling. Already you prove yourself more wise than most who have been my acquaintance lately. What is it to be witty, then? To say clever things. And what is cleverness? Why was he having this conversation? I guess it's the ability to say and do the right things at the right time. Close.
Yeah, you have the right answer. You have that good timing.
Yeah, I would say it's in no small part the ability to combine intelligence and humor into poignant, well-articulated observation, yeah. The king's wit cocked his head, then smiled. Finally, he held out his hand to Kaladin. And what is your name, my thoughtful bridgeman? Kaladin hesitantly raised his own hand. Kaladin. And yours? I've many. The man shook Kaladin's hand. I began life as a thought, a concept, words on a page. That was another thing I stole, myself. Another time, I was named for a rock.
Hmm? That's pretty
Okay.
meta as well.
Yeah.
He's a concept of words on a page. That is exactly who he is as a
Yep.
character from
From
Branderson's head.
Sanderson?
Mm.
Yes. But also, I wonder how literally this can be
Mm-hmm.
taken. Was
No, it
he.
must be. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some degree of literalness here.
Mm-hmm.
I was named for a rock. That wouldn't be Hoyd, which is a
Mm-hmm.
name he later used. So, what could his real name be? Granite?
He granted. But he could get a Slate is his name. He
Oh,
could
I
he
like
could
that.
get I began life as a thought, a concept, so that could be like his name was psychology.
Hmm.
uh that, if we want to take that literally, or it was like he was a spell in a book, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I was named for a rock. A pretty one, I hope. I wonder if this has any connection to Tien in a way, by the
Yeah.
way. The reason
Mm-hmm.
why he brought that up specifically.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful one, the man said, and one that became completely worthless for my wearing it. What?
He wore the rock. What
Maybe
kind of
it's like a
rock?
gem,
Mm-hmm.
like a emerald or something.
But if he
Diamond.
wears it, but what made it was
Hmm.
worthless, even though I was wearing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what do men call you now? Many a thing, and only some of them polite. Almost all are true, unfortunately. You, however, may call me Hoyd. Your name? No, the name of someone I should have loved. Once again, this is a thing I stole. It is something we thieves do. The name of someone I should have loved.
Hmm.
Okay, that's history there. That's lore
Mm-hmm.
there. He glanced eastward over the rapidly darkening plains. The little fire burning beside Hoyd's boulder shed a fugitive light, red from glimmering coals. Gone.
Fugitive, but if Hoyd is some sort of conjurer, okay, that is kind of what they do. They kill something and they steal, they take it.
Okay.
But yeah, and he did. Yeah, he could take on the bones of of a human and do that. If he's a conjurer, he could be. But he seems to have abilities way beyond conjurer.
Yeah, I don't think he's a Khandra. I wonder if he's perhaps like a spawn of Ruin or a spawn of the Preservation Beast in some way.
Mm. Or he was created before all of that.
Yeah. Well, it was pleasant to meet you, Kaladin said. I will be on my way. Not before I give you something. Hoyd picked up his flute. Wait, please. Kaladin sighed. He had a feeling that this odd man was not going to let him escape until he was done. This is a trailman's flute, Hoyd said, inspecting the length of dark wood. It is meant to be used by a storyteller, for him to play while he is telling a story. Wait, I thought you just said that you really liked this flute. Why would you give it away?
Mm.
You mean to accompany a storyteller, being played by someone else while he speaks. Actually, I meant what I said. And then I think back to when it described him as if he was playing a duet with himself.
Mm-hmm.
How would a man tell a story while playing the flute? Boyd raised an eyebrow, then lifted the flute to his lips. He played it differently from flutes Kaladin had seen. Instead of holding it down in front of him, Hoyd held it out to the side and blew across its top. He tested a few notes. They had the same melancholy tone that Kaladin had heard before. This story, Hoyd said, is about Darethil and the Wandersail. Ooh.
Hmm.
He said the title.
Roll credits.
He began to play. The notes were quicker, sharper than the ones he'd played earlier. They almost seemed to tumble over one another, scurrying out of the flute like children racing another to be first. They were beautiful and crisp, rising and falling scales, intricate as a woven rug. Kaladin found himself transfixed. The tune was powerful, almost demanding, as if each note were a hook, flung out to spear Kaladin's flesh and hold him near. Hoyd stopped abruptly, but the notes continued to echo in the chasm, coming back as he spoke. Darathil is well known in some lands, though I have heard him spoken of less here in the east. He was a king during the Shadow Days, the time before memory. A powerful man, commander of thousands, leader of tens of thousands, tall, regal, blessed with fair skin and fairer eyes. He was a man to envy.
Very cool.
Cool. Shadow Days. So is he telling a story, like a Cosmere story of a different world, or is he telling a story from this world?
I don't know. Yeah, the Shadow Days, if Kaladin recognizes what Shadow Days means, then yeah. Yeah, also, he says known in some lands, though I've heard spoken here less in the East. Is it the East, as in this is the world in the East, or something? But yeah, I don't think you have north. You don't have direction in space, so I don't know what he means by East.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. There's obviously some moral we need to take from this story.
Yeah.
That Kaladin needs to take.
Right. Probably about not being able to save everyone. Just as the echoes faded below, Hoyd began to play again, picking up the rhythm. He actually seemed to continue just where the echoing notes grew too soft, as if there had never been a break in the music. The notes grew more smooth, suggesting a king walking through court with his attendants. As Hoyd played, eyes closed, he leaned forward toward the fire. The air he blew over the flute churned the smoke, stirring it. The music grew softer. The smoke swirled, and Kaladin thought he could make out the face of a man in the patterns of smoke, a man with a pointed chin and lofty cheekbones. It wasn't really there, of course, just imagination, but the haunting song and the swirling smoke seemed to encourage his imagination.
He's getting high!
He's getting high! But also we learned in an interlude chapter that you can, make Spren stop. But no, I think this is different magic.
Yeah.
Darathil fought the Voidbringers during the days of the Heralds and Radiance.
So, yeah, story is about this world.
Yeah, and Yasna would be all about this story, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Darathil fought the Voidbringers during the days of the Heralds and Radiance, Hoyd said, eyes still closed, flute just below his lips, the song echoing in the chasm and seeming to accompany his words. When there was finally peace, he found he was not content. His eyes always turned westward toward the great open sea. He commissioned the finest ship men had ever known, a majestic vessel intended to do what none had dared before. Sail the seas during a high storm. Whoa, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna need a lot of stormlight to protect yourself from that.
And well, why? Because we can, because we want to. Okay.
The echoes tapered off and Hoyd began playing again, as if alternating with an invisible partner. The smoke swirled, rising in the air, twisting in the wind of Hoyd's breath, and Kaladin almost thought he could see an enormous ship in a shipyard, with a sail as large as a building, secured to an arrow-like hull. The melody became quick and clipped as if to imitate the sounds of mallets pounding and saws cutting.
Yeah, this is a magic flute and
100%.
smoke. Yeah.
Yep. Darathil's goal, Hoyd paused and said, was to seek the origin of the Voidbringers, the place where they had been spawned. I am so into this story.
Mm-hmm. The origin! Look towards the origin!
Mm-hmm. Many called him a fool, yet he could not hold himself back. He named the vessel the Wandersail, and gathered a crew of the bravest of sailors. Then, on a day when a high storm brewed, this ship cast off. Riding out into the ocean, the sail hung wide like arms open to the storm winds. The flute was at Hoyd's lips in a second, and he stirred the fire by kicking at a piece of rockbud shell. Sparks of flame rose in the air and smoke puffed, swirling as Hoyd rotated his head down and pointed the flute's holes at the smoke. The song became violent, tempestuous, notes falling unexpectedly and trilling with quick undulations. Scales rippled into high notes where they screeched airily. He's, putting on a show, that's for certain.
Yeah, this would be so cool to make. Ah, really good.
Hmm. And Kaladin saw it in his mind's eye, the massive ship suddenly minuscule before the awesome power of a high storm, blown, carried out into the endless sea. What had this Darethil hoped or expected to find? A high storm on land was terrible enough, but on the sea? By the way, I hope Syl is listening to this.
Well, Syl's still mad at him. I don't know where she is.
True. Also, we have passed page 1000 in my book.
Mm-hmm.
The sounds bounced off the echoing walls below. Kaladin found himself sinking down to the rocks, watching the swirling smoke and rising flames, seeing the tiny ship captured and held within a furious maelstrom. Eventually, Hoyd's music slowed and the violent echoes faded, leaving a much gentler song, like lapping waves. The Wonder Sail ran aground and was nearly destroyed, but Darethil and most of his sailors survived. They found themselves on a ring of small islands surrounding an enormous whirlpool, where it is said the ocean drains. Darethil and his men were greeted by a strange people with long, limber bodies who wore robes of a single color and shells in their hair, unlike any that grow back on Roshar. Oh, is that Cosmere travel?
Hmm. Roshar is a continent and not a world. I don't know.
Yeah, or the ship. It's not a sailing ship, it's a spaceship. They went
Hmm.
into the
A portal.
Silver Lake portal thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These people took the survivors in, fed them, and nursed them back to health. During his weeks of recovery, Darethil studied the strange people who called themselves the Yuvara, the people of the great abyss. They lived curious lives, unlike the people in Roshar, who constantly argue. The Yuvara always seemed to agree. From childhood, there were no questions. Each and every person went about his duty. I'll be honest, that sounds like Pleasantville and all the problems that come along with it.
Yeah, that's hive mind dystopia. Mm.
Yeah. Hoyd began the music again, letting the smoke rise unhindered. Kaladin thought he could see it in an industrious people, always working. A building rose among them with a figure at the window, Darethil watching. The music was calming, curious. One day, Hoyd said, while Darethil and his men were sparring to regain strength, a young serving girl brought them refreshment. She tripped on an uneven stone, dropping the goblets to the floor and shattering them. In a flash, the other Yuvara descended on the hapless child and slaughtered her in a brutal way.
Oh wow! So you
Whoa!
got a great society, but it's like you didn't do your duty. You tripped. Why didn't you slaughter the guy that did the paving?
Hmm. Darethil and his men were so stunned that by the time they regained their wits, the child was dead. Angry, Darethil demanded to know the cause of the unjustified murder. One of the other natives explained, "Our emperor will not suffer failure." The music began again, sorrowful, and Kaladin shivered. He witnessed the girl being bludgeoned to death with rocks, and the proud form of Darethil bowing above her fallen body. Yeah, no, that's. I can see why they all agree and go about their
Hmm.
duty.
Yeah, exactly.
Kaladin knew that sorrow, the sorrow of failure, of letting someone die when he should have been able to do something. So many people he loved had died. He had a reason for that now. He'd drawn the ire of the heralds and the Almighty. It had to be that, didn't it?
No.
No, no. I get it, but no. He knew he should be getting back to Bridge 4, but he couldn't pull himself away. He hung on the storyteller's words. As Darethil began to pay more attention, Boyd said, his music echoing softly to accompany him, he saw other murderers. These Yuvara, these people of the Great Abyss, were prone to astonishing cruelty. If one of their members did something wrong, something the slightest bit untoward or unfavorable, the others would slaughter him or her. Each time he asked, Darethil's caretaker gave him the same answer. Our emperor will not suffer failure.
This kind of standard is what Kaladin actually has for himself. I will not suffer failure. It's like, wow, too much failure, too much failure.
Oh. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Because every time somebody dies, he scolds himself. He kills himself, essentially.
Yeah. The echoing music faded, but once again Hoyd lifted his flute just as it grew too soft to hear. The melody grew solemn, soft, quiet, like a lament for one who had passed. And yet it was edged with mystery, occasional quick bursts hinting at secrets. Kaladin frowned as he watched the smoke spin, making what appeared to be a tower, tall, thin, with an open structure at the top. The Emperor, Darathil discovered, resided in the tower in the eastern coast of the largest island among the Uvara. Kaladin felt a chill. The smoke images were just from his mind, adding to the story, weren't they? No, they're not. Stupid Kaladin.
Maybe they're from Wit's mind.
Yeah. Had he really seen a tower before Hoyd mentioned it? Yeah, absolutely you did. Because he's totally doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a connection between this and the tower that he saw in the Windrunning dream?
I don't know. Yeah, was it across the sea?
No, it was at the center of the Shattered Plains, I think. Or
Mm.
close to it. Darathil determined that he needed to confront this cruel emperor. What kind of monster would demand that such an obviously peaceful people kill so often and so terribly? Darathil gathered his sailors, a heroic group, and they armed themselves. The Uvara did not try to stop them, though they watched with fright as the strangers stormed the Emperor's tower. Hoyd fell silent and didn't turn back to his flute. Instead, he let the music echo in the chasm. It seemed to linger this time, long, sinister notes. That flute is like the instrument in that episode of Futurama, where Fry sells his hand for the talent to do that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I need to rewatch Futurama. I've probably seen it, but yeah.
Yeah. Hoyd fell silent and didn't turn back to his flute. Instead, he let the music echo in the chasm. It seemed to linger this time, long, sinister notes. Darathil and his men came out of the tower a short time later, carrying a desiccated corpse in fine robes and jewelry. "This is your emperor?" Darathil demanded. "We found him in the top room alone." It appeared that the man had been dead for years, but nobody had dared enter his tower. They were too frightened of him. Well, that's crazy.
That's convenient. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we don't want to disturb him. Okay.
When he showed the Uvara the dead body, they began to wail and weep. The entire island was cast into chaos as the Uvara began to burn homes, riot, or fall to their knees in torment. Amazed and confused, Darathil and his men stormed the Uvara shipyards where the Wander sail was being repaired. Their guide and caretaker joined them, and she begged to accompany them in their escape. So it was that Nafti joined the crew. Nafti? Cool.
Is she? She the girl ripping the paintings?
Ooh, maybe. Interesting.
She seems otherworldly enough.
Yeah. Brave of this person to want to leave with Darathil.
Mm-hmm.
Darathil and his men set sail, and though the winds were still, they rowed the Wander sail around the whirlpool, using the momentum to spin out and away from the islands. Long after they left, they could see the smoke rising from the ostensibly peaceful lands. They gathered on the deck, watching, and Darathil asked Nafti the reason for the terrible riots. Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah, and it makes sense that she would want to flee the riots, but everybody else seemed quite disturbed. Like, what kind of heretic is she?
Yeah. Hoyd fell silent, letting his words rise with the strange smoke, lost to the night. "Well?" Kaladin demanded. "What was her response?"
Yeah, he's so into this, like us.
Yeah. Holding a blanket around herself, staring with haunted eyes at her lands, she replied, "Do you not see, traveling one? If the Emperor is dead, and has been all these years, then the murders we committed are not his responsibility. They are our own."
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah.
Jinx.
But I mean, you thought it was him. You thought, like, forgive yourself. You thought it was.
And the response to that is to do more killing?
Yeah.
Unaliving, sure, but
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, what? That doesn't make sense. You're right.
oh gosh. Kaladin sat back. Gone was the taunting, playful tone Hoyd had used earlier. No more mockery, no more quick tongue intended to confuse. This story had come from within his heart, and Kaladin found he could not speak. He just sat, thinking of that island and the terrible things that had been done. Are you saying that there should be a tyrant?
Having no king could be chaotic. Yeah, having no leader is chaotic.
I think, Kaladin finally replied, licking his dry lips. I think that is cleverness. Hoyd raised an eyebrow, looking up from his flute. Being able to remember a story like that, Kaladin said. To tell it with such care. Be wary of what you say, Hoyd said, smiling. If all you need for cleverness is a good story, then I'll find myself out of a job. Didn't you say you were already out of a job?
Good point.
That is wit.
Mm-hmm.
Or cleverness, rather. True. The king is finally without wit. I wonder what that makes him. Witless? Kaladin said.
There you go. It's weird to Kaladin making jokes.
Yeah. I'll tell him you said that, Hoyd noted, eyes twinkling. But I think it's inaccurate. One can have a wit, but not a witless. What is a wit? I don't know. Some kind of spren in your head, maybe, that makes you think? Hoyd cocked his head, then laughed. Why, I suppose that's as good as explanation as any. He stood up, dusting off his black trousers. Is the story true? Kaladin asked, rising, too. Perhaps. But how would we know it? Did Darathil and his men return? Some stories say they did. But how could they? The high storms only blow one direction. Then I guess the story is a lie. I didn't say that. No, I said it. Fortunately, it's the best kind of lie. And what kind is that? Why, the kind I tell, of course. Hoyd laughed, then kicked out the fire, grinding the last of the coals beneath his heel. It didn't really seem there had been enough fuel to make the smoke, Kaladin had seen. 'Cause he's magic.
Well, the flute's magic and he's magic, yeah.
What did you put in the fire? Kaladin said. To make that special smoke? Nothing. It was just an ordinary fire. But I saw... What you saw belongs to you. A story doesn't live until it is imagined in someone's mind.
That's pretty.
Yeah, that is pretty. Very much Sanderson right there.
Mm-hmm.
What does the story mean then? It means what you want it to mean, Hoyd said. The purpose of a storyteller is not to tell you how to think, but to give you questions to think upon. Too often we forget that. Yeah. Kaladin frowned, looking westward, back toward the war camps. They were alight now with spheres, lanterns, and candles. It means taking responsibility, Kaladin said. The Yuvara, they were happy to kill and murder so long as they could blame the Emperor. It wasn't until they realized there was nobody to take the responsibility that they showed grief. I'm so glad Kaladin is saying this, because if it were left to me to think, I'd be very annoyed. I would do it, but I wouldn't be happy about it. Don't like to think, damn it. No,
what do you want us to take from the story? You're gonna need us, otherwise we could go... You've seen what our ideas can do. We could take ourselves all the way to the wrong side of the world.
Yeah, something, death of the author, something. That's one interpretation, Hoyd said. A fine one, actually. So what is it you don't want to take responsibility for? For him, it's the opposite. It's that he wants to take responsibility for something that he has no control over.
Yeah, everything. Also, he's also... No, when it comes... Okay, for that, yes, I'm in absolute agreement. But when it comes to the power that he has, he's trying to make it the responsibility, the problem, it's the fault of the Almighty. He's cursed from there. Yeah. This has happened to him instead of it's just who he is.
Ah, yeah, that's good. I like that. Let's go with that one.
Let's see.
Kaladin started. What? People see in stories what they're looking for, my young friend. He reached behind his boulder, pulling out a pack and slinging it on his shoulder. I have no answers for you, Most days I feel I never have had any answers. I've come to your land to chase an old acquaintance, but I end up spending most of my time hiding from him instead. You said about me and responsibility? Just an
Mm-hmm.
idle comment, nothing more. I disagree, Hoyd.
Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as an idle comment from this man.
I agree. He reached over, laying a hand on Kaladin's shoulder. My comments are often idle. I never can get them to do any solid work. Never can, or not allowed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sanderson doesn't allow him to give us this to do the.
Would that I could make my words carry stones. That would be something to see. He held out the dark wood flute. Here, I've carried her for longer than you'd believe, were I to tell you the truth. Take her for yourself. No, you've had it for so long. It's a nice
But
gesture, though. But
what is this gonna do? Why? Why does he have to do this? Like, I don't know if it's just a nice gesture. Why does he need this flute?
No, it's there's something more going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to play it. Then learn, Hoyd said, pressing the flute into Kaladin's hand. When you can make the music sing back at you, then you've mastered it. He began to walk away. And take good care of that blasted apprentice of mine. He really should have let me know he was still alive. Perhaps he feared I'd come to rescue him again. Oh, it's Sigzil.
Mm-hmm.
Apprentice? Tell him I graduate him, Hoyt said, still walking. He's a full world singer now. Don't let him get killed. I spent far too long trying to force some sense into that brain of his. Sigzil, Kaladin thought. Oh shit, what if Sigzil isn't from Roshar?
I don't know. So what if? Then he knows stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, could be interesting. Or maybe
Mm-hmm.
not. I don't know. I'll give him the flute. Nah, he's probably from Roshar. But
Yeah,
it was a
world
neat...
singers. The whole idea of a world singer is a Rosharian thing.
Is it, though? It seems more of a Terrace thing.
Well, they've got no. I'm saying like the people in the world know what it's called.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's very true. I'll give him the flute, he called after Hoyd. No, you won't, Hoyd said, turning, walking backward as he left. It's a gift to you, Kaladin Stormblessed. I expect you to be able to play it when next we meet. No
Ooh,
way.
we're gonna meet him again.
Yay, we're gonna meet him again, but also Kaladin didn't give him the name Stormblessed.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we'll see if Kaladin catches on to that.
I'm sure you will. That's too big of a thing.
Yeah. And with that, the storyteller turned and broke into a jog, heading off toward the war camps. He didn't move to go up into them, however. His shadowed figure turned to the south as if he were intending to leave the camps. Where was he going? Kaladin looked down at the flute in his hand. It was heavier than he had expected. What kind of wood was it? He rubbed its smooth length, thinking.
I don't like him.
Syl's voice said suddenly, coming from behind.
He's strange.
I mean, yes, he is, but it seems like he's generally working toward good things. In our experience.
Mm-hmm. But still, it has to benefit him.
I mean, how can Syl... It's great to know she was there, by the way. How can Syl, though, not, I mean, clearly this was some sort of spiritual enlightenment attempt for Kaladin, directed at Kaladin, which I would have imagined Syl would be all for.
Yeah, but she's just finding him alien. He's strange.
Yeah. Kaladin spun to find her on the boulder, sitting where Hoyd had been a moment ago. Syl, Kaladin said. How long have you been there? She shrugged.
You were watching the story. I didn't want to interrupt.
She sat with hands in her lap, looking uncomfortable. Syl.
I'm behind what is happening to you,
she said, voice soft.
I'm doing it. Maybe she's confused. I don't know. Explain how you're doing it.
So help me, Syl, if you apologize to him in some way. Or want to run away in some way. Kaladin frowned, stepping forward.
It's both of us. But without me, nothing would be changing in you. I'm taking something from you. And giving something in return. It's the way it used to work, though I can't remember how or when. I just know that it was.
I...
Hush, I'm talking.
Sorry.
I'm willing to stop it if you want, but I would go back to being as I was before. That scares me. Floating on the wind, never remembering anything for longer than a few minutes. It's because of this tie between us that I can think again, that I can remember what and who I am. If we end it, I lose that. She
She...
essentially dies.
Yeah, that's basically death.
Yeah.
She looked up at Kaladin, sorrowful. He looked into those eyes, then took a deep breath. Come, he said, turning, walking back down the peninsula. She flew over, becoming a ribbon of light, floating idly in the air beside him. Soon they reached the place beneath the ridge leading to the war camps. Kaladin turned north toward Sadius's camp. The Kremlings had retreated to their cracks and burrows, but many of the plants still continued to let their fronds float in the cool wind. When he passed, the grass pulled back in, looking like the fur of some black beast in the night, lit by solace. Okay, Kaladin, you damn well better apologize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're just the little note of what Syl said there. Where she's like, it's how it used to be, or something like that. So maybe that's why it's different to what Zeth has. Whatever their bond is, it might be something slightly different, slightly more powerful, slightly more traditional. And it seems like you give when you do soul casting, you exchange as well. There is an exchange. So yeah, these magic systems are related, I think.
Yeah. What responsibility are you avoiding? He wasn't avoiding responsibility. He took too much responsibility. Hey, I said that.
Yeah.
Lirin had said it constantly, chastising Kaladin for feeling guilt over deaths he couldn't have prevented. Though there was one thing he clung to, an excuse perhaps, like the dead emperor. It was the soul of the wretch. Apathy. The belief that nothing was his fault. The belief that he couldn't change anything. If a man was cursed, or if he believed he didn't have to care, then he didn't need to hurt when he failed. Those failures couldn't have been prevented. Someone or something else had ordained them.
Yay! That's what I said, essentially. Just not as pretty.
Yeah! If I'm not cursed, Kaladin said softly, then why do I live when others die?
Because of us. This bond. It makes you stronger, Kaladin.
Then why can't it make me strong enough to help the others?
I don't know. Maybe it can. It does! It has!
Mm-hmm.
You have helped others! My gosh!
If I get rid of it, I'll go back to being normal. For what purpose? So I can die with the others? He continued to walk in the darkness, passing lights above that made vague, faint shadows on the stones in front of him. The tendrils of finger moss clumped in bunches. Their shadows seemed arms. He thought often about saving the bridgemen, and yet, as he considered, he realized that he often framed saving them in terms of saving himself. Yeah!
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that, Kaladin!
Mm-hmm.
He told himself he wouldn't let them die because he knew what it would do to him if they did. When he lost men, the wretch threatened to take over because of how much Kaladin hated failing. Was that it? Was that why he searched for reasons why he might be cursed? To explain his failure away? Kaladin began to walk more quickly. He was doing something good in helping the bridgemen, but he also was doing something selfish. The powers had unsettled him because of the responsibility they represented.
Yes!
Yep.
I also said that, yes, because the great power came with more responsibility. That's why it was so... Yeah.
We're about to get Kaladin unleashed. He broke into a jog. Before long, he was sprinting. But if it wasn't about him, if he wasn't helping the bridgemen because he loathed failure or because he feared the pain of watching them die, then it would be about them. About Rock's affable jibes, about Moash's intensity, about Teft's earnest gruffness, or Pete's quiet dependability. Pete, have you ever once mentioned Pete before now?
But he's quiet and dependable. That's the point.
Sure. What would he do to protect them? Give up his illusions? His excuses? What was I going to say?
Give up his excuses. Yes, give up all of the angst that gets in his way.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see what happens the next time one of them dies, though.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how he reacts to that.
Yeah.
Seize whatever opportunity he could, no matter how it changed him, no matter how it unnerved him or what burdens it represented. He dashed up the incline to the lumber yard. Bridge 4 was making their evening stew, chatting and laughing. The nearly 20 wounded men from other crews sat eating gratefully. It was gratifying how quickly they had lost their hollow-eyed expressions and begun laughing with the other men. Great, so the other wounded are joining them. Good,
Mm-hmm.
good. The smell of spicy horn-eater stew was thick in the air. Kaladin slowed his jog, coming to a stop beside the bridgemen. Several looked concerned as they saw him, panting and sweating. Syl landed on his shoulder. Kaladin sought out Teft. The aging bridgeman sat alone below the barracks eaves, staring down at the rock in front of him. He hadn't noticed Kaladin yet. Kaladin gestured for the others to continue, then walked over to Teft. He squatted down before the man. Teft looked up in surprise. Kaladin, what do you know? Kaladin said, quietly intense. And how do you know it? Teft said. When I was a youth, my family belonged to a secret sect that awaited the return of the Radiants. I quit when I was just a youth. I thought it was nonsense. His family?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yay, lore.
yeah.
Are we talking nuclear family? We talking cult? Or are we talking something else?
Sounds like order, sounds like culture.
Yeah.
Group, yeah.
He was holding things back. Kaladin could tell from the hesitation in his voice. Responsibility. How much do you know about what I can do? Not much, Teft said. Just legends and stories. Nobody really knows what the Radiants could do, lad. Kaladin met his eyes, then smiled. Well, we're going to find out.
Woo!
Great Hollywood line right there.
Mm-hmm. Very cinematic.
Well, this was a very long chapter, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was very long, but a lot learned, a lot happened. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for Kaladin Unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if he's gonna hold on to his hatred of the Light Eyes after this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
How is this change in him going to affect that?
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. Do you have anything else to say, Kitty?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
It was a very long chapter, but very satisfying.
Yes, agreed. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to That Darn Kita if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel. And we'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye.